You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Wow! Hello and welcome back to another Watcher's Diary, very special interstitial episode starring Jenny Owen Youngs.
My God.
With Kristin Russo and introducing Frank.
There always has to be somebody after me, just so I'm definitely the lowest ranking cast member of the pod.
With special guest star, the Green Ribbon.
I'm so glad that you are in such a great mood, Jenny. And I'm so glad that when we got on the Zoom call, you were in a great mood the whole time, not in a horrible mood. And then suddenly a better mood.
Kristin.
Yes.
Look,
the vessel for bad moods.
It's true. When I got on the call, I was in a very bad mood, but then I had a very quick turnaround. Kristin, as you remain a parent, the longer you're a parent, the more you'll see you really have to be very efficient about everything. You have to develop systems for efficiency as you go. And I have developed a system where I have all of my moods. I have the entire spectrum of human emotion in a very, very truncated, compact little microdose.
Yes, at the appearance of my face, your Rolodex of emotions is like...
you don't know what kind of moods I'm having over here when we're not on Zoom. Just be glad you get to log out.
My favorite part about Jenny, which is why we do Watcher's Diary, is this for me to tell you my favorite part about Jenny, is that we'll get on the recording and she's like, we have so much that we do in every week. It's simply too much. And then we finish the recording and like the day passes and then I'm about to fall asleep and I get 17 text messages and it's like, Fallout Season 2 is coming back. We should definitely do a podcast about it. Also, do you want to do something called Gamers Corner? Also. And I'm like, please rewind the tape back to 2 p.m.
Listen, good people of the buffering verse, our beautiful audience, listen. Fallout Season 2 filming has wrapped. December premiere for Season 2 has been announced, and it's already been renewed for Season 3, which it should be. I can't wait, and now we get to start planning. This is everyone's priority, right? Fallout. But it's my priority.
I do think that it is a high priority for many people. Like that much is clear to me. It is
100 million people who have watched it on Amazon Prime so far. Can't be wrong, Kristin.
What's incredible is that what you need to know is that Jenny went completely out of focus on her camera as she was shouting 1 million people.
Yeah, I think the camera was trying to focus on my scream.
Amazon.com. Do you need anyone to do commercials for Fallout Season 2? Because you should call Jennifer Youngs at 1-800-I-LOVE-FALLOUT.
Listen, no offense to everyone else on the planet, but this past week when I played in Vienna, Virginia, someone who works at Bethesda, the studio that created Fallout.
Not to be confused with Bethesda, Maryland.
Oh, and actually I think I've been correct. We were corrected on the podcast that Bethesda has made some Fallout games. Like they picked up Fallout at a certain point and started building the games, but Fallout originated outside of Bethesda, I think. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is Bethesda also makes the Elder Scrolls games, and this kind, amazing soul brought me a bag of swag of Skyrim and Fallout swag that elicited from me such an overreaction that I think he may have regretted bringing me swag because I was so excited. I think he was like, Jesus fucking Christ, it's just like a t-shirt and a bobblehead, relax.
He probably just doesn't have the training I have in containing the multitudes that are you, Jennifer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you know that episode of The X-Files that Monk is on where they're like, he like turns into, like his shadow becomes a black hole.
Yeah.
And that happens because he's in a room where like some kind of particle accelerator or something is like going nuts. I need particle accelerator grade containment.
Right. If you stand in a room with Jenny Owen Youngs for too long, you too might get a shadow that is a black hole.
Yeah. Kristin, on a scale of 1 to black hole, how's your shadow doing?
My shadow has been a black hole for years.
Yeah.
Okay. Jenny, the first thing I want to tell you about, so in case you're new to Watcher's Diaries,
we're here to talk about Fallout.
Yeah.
Skyrim.
Particle acceleration.
Your favorite thing about me.
I mean, to be quite honest, it's a space that does a few things. One, we're doing the segment, What Was Dawn Doing? Inside of our Watchers Diaries. Two, we're reading some emails that are current and about the most recent episodes that we've been discussing. And three, it gives Jenny and I a place to fuck around because we talk without fucking around even that much. We talk for like 2 hours about each episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So
yeah, and then we need some fuck around time for sure on the side. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to listen to us fuck around, you just can skip to the next episode.
You've come to the wrong podcast.
Which will be Some Assembly Required, where literally everyone is fucking around. But if you want to hear some emails and think about what Dawn was doing in when she was bad, this is the place that you should be.
Yeah.
Emily wrote in, our listener Emily, about the barbecue fork. As you know, in season 1, Joyce falls on a, quote, barbecue fork, but she doesn't have a barbecue fork. We wondered, Jenny, if the Summers family even had a barbecue. And I'm here to tell you from Emily that they do, because Emily just finished watching Fool for Love. When Spike goes to kill Buffy, when she's crying out on the back deck, you can see a small barbecue to her right when she first walks outside. No sign of a barbecue fork, though. So it seems that in our fact-gathering mission, the Summers household has a barbecue, but no barbecue fork. And this is the...
Well, maybe it's stored, in the kitchen.
No,
that's
Joyce...
where I keep my barbecue implements.
Joyce specifically said they don't have a barbecue fork. Or somebody's, right? She fell on a barbecue fork, but they don't have a barbecue fork. So how is it a barbecue fork? It wasn't. It was a vampire.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have a barbecue spatula and barbecue tongs and no fork. No fork came with the implement set.
Oh my God. Okay. Avery from the UK. I feel like Once More with Spoilers is like pissing off everyone from the UK. Is like, that's what
did we
do. Not pissing
What did we do?
No, everyone's fine. It's just like, we're like, do you say issues? That seems crazy. And everyone's like, yes, you fucking say issues if you're from like this. Blah, 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 blah. And we were like, oh, it must be a Bramley apple because he's from the UK. And
forsooth.
Multiple people, but Avery, I starred your email. Avery wrote in that we mentioned Bramley apples as the most popular cooking apples, but here's the thing, they would be too sour to eat raw. They're usually put in pies.
Kind of like a Granny Smith.
Yeah. Somewhere Joanna Robinson's ears just started ringing. Okay, I haven't heard this, and I might be spreading some serious Buffy reboot gossip because I have not fact-checked this. I'm just straight reading it from the email inbox, just trying to cause a bunch of trouble. Isabel started it. Isabel wrote in and said, I was wondering if you've heard the rumor that Buffy will be working at an insurance company in the new Buffy revival. We haven't, by the look on Jenny's face, and I can speak for myself.
No, I feel like that sounds familiar.
Oh, interesting.
I've been seeing some roundups of rumors being. I think Slayerfest 98 has been posting rumors as they surface.
So I'm like here feeling bad. Meanwhile, Ian Carlos Crawford,
Ian
we're
is
looking
like,
at
people
you.
of the world.
But Isabel said at first when I heard this, I was like, no way, not my Buffy. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, it might make sense. With Buffy's years of experience damaging multiple properties, she definitely understands what needs to be done in order to fix things. Not to mention her season 6 arc when her bitch-ass friends made her pay all the bills. So it makes sense that she might want to work somewhere like this to help people who struggled like she did. Your thoughts on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy the Insurance Slayer?
Buffy the Claims Adjuster. I like it. I mean, I feel like, good God, if Buffy could use something in her life, it's stability, a paycheck, health insurance, a nice benefits package, you know? Plus insurance hours, famously daytime.
Yeah.
So plenty of
true.
After hours
for her vampire boyfriend. I'm sure she has one. You know what I mean? Pick a season.
Do you think she has another vampire? Do you think? Wait.
I hope so.
Wait.
She will always be age appropriate for a vampire, except for in the original run of the series when she was decidedly not age appropriate for a vampire.
My question is sort of like, will she be dating a vampire who was sired at an older age? Or is it vampires? I keep getting older, but they stay the same age.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I also think that, the vampire of it all is more fun to talk about, I think, than the insurance of it all. But what if Sunnydale is back? Like, because have we even talked about the fact if we think that like this is going to be set in Cleveland as like a little?
That's what my guess would be. Cleveland
would be Cleveland.
Although maybe not.
Either way, if it's set on a Hellmouth, then what if it's more self-aware? What if the town is more self-aware of its, situation on a Hellmouth? And so Buffy is an insurance agent, but she's specifically an insurance agent for Hellmouths. So like she has a specific understanding of risks. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, oh, the paver on your step is loose, we can't insure your home. It's like we actually sent someone to your door and you invited them in, and so you are a risk to us.
Right. That could be interesting.
Yeah. Jenny had said that could be interesting, but she's reading something else and I can tell.
No, I'm looking at your face on the screen, but I let my eyes like go out of focus because I was just picturing like the claims adjustment and like the sort of what the approach to insure like property insurance on the Hellmouth would really be about.
Yeah, like they're not going to care as much about flooding. They're going to care more about, I don't know. Does your house have a crucifix or a cross on the front of it, like as a decorative element? A discount. Yeah. You get a discount on your
How
insurance.
biteable is your neck?
So yeah, I guess we'll see. Oh my God, I have so many fun emails and not nearly enough time. But luckily we're going to be allegedly doing about one of these per episode. So we'll have more real estate soon. Okay.
That is the plan.
Andrea, Jenny Calendar is Phoebe. Also, I thought it was so funny, Jenny, because we talked to LaToya in the last Watcher's Diary and you very loosely assigned Friends characters to Buffy characters. And then I was editing when she was bad, where we also talked about Friends, the television series, because I was like, Buffy's is that the Rachel? And you were like, that is decidedly not the Rachel. And we had a bit of a, argument about it. So here we are, 3 in a row. Friends. Jenny Calendar is Phoebe.
Have we ever seen another show?
Andrea says that I'd like to propose Jenny Calendar as Phoebe. They're both witchy, clearly, but they're also both very streetwise. Jenny in an internet early adopter way, and Phoebe in an I can show you how to make a shiv kind of way. They're also both openly kinky. Where do you dangle it versus I'm very bendy, and all of Phoebe's shenanigans with Mike. What do you think? I think it's pretty spot on.
I'm open to this.
Yeah, I think it's a good.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good job.
Who is
no.
By default, does that make Phoebe's brother, like the Giovanni Ribisi character on Friends, Uncle, is it Uncle Enya? Anya.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ilya.
The only thing I thought is Uncle Leo.
But
that's
this is so
not
embarrassing.
right.
This is the kind of thing I'm supposed to know off the top of my head.
I love that guy. That guy was in the X-Files too.
He sure was. Uncle Enyos, of course. Uncle Enya. Oh my God, I'm fired. Someone fire me.
Okay, Jenny. Wow. Oh, I have so many emails. Listen, I'm going to do a few more and then we're going to do what was Don doing. But I want you to know that Catherine was very excited about you singing Chibo Mato's I know my chicken. You've got to know your
You've got
chicken.
to know your chicken.
Which I now know only from your singing of it. But Catherine wanted us to know that they really appreciated your discussion. They've loved Viva La Woman for years, but never knew much about the duo or that Sean Lennon was involved. Anyways, now this is the important part. My cat, Molly, aka Malbo, got very, very sick last summer. Part of nursing her back to health was and is making her food from scratch. Every time she gets her special chicken meal, my partner and I sing, Malbo, your chicken, you've got to eat your chicken. When Jenny sang Know Your Chicken, I was filled with delight. And for us... Oh, Katie, I'm sorry. I was reading your full name from your email address here. Katie sent a picture of Malbo, who is very adorable, as a matter of fact. I also think that this might be a good place to tell everyone that we were like, what the fuck did we say? You were like, have you ever seen the Chibo Mato video for this song? And I was like, I've never. And then you were like, I just found out that they have this crazy EP. And in the Discord, someone was like, I would like to let you both know that in your original coverage of When She Was Bad, Kristin literally watched the video that she said she didn't watch. And Jenny discovered the EP that she said she just discovered.
You know, that's why we can do it. It's been enough time. It's been enough time that it makes sense to do it again. It's new for everyone.
I mean,
Kristin,
that's like,
can I?
Yes. It's just new heights for us. Like, truly.
Yeah, no, that's us. Listen, could I hip you to some lyrics from a different Chibo Mato song, also on Viva La Woman?
I would love it.
The song is called Birthday Cake.
This reminds me of when you took me through Katy Perry's Happy Birthday song. Wherever she talks about her breasts as balloons.
Whoa. They're big balloons, actually. Okay, so the chorus is... Okay, the premise is, and the first verse begins, yes, I'm cooking for my son and his wife. It's his 30th birthday. Then the son, it seems, says, it's moldy, Mom, isn't it? And then the mom answers, I don't give a flying fuck, though. And then the chorus is, shut up and eat. Too bad, no bon appetit. Shut up and eat. You know my love is sweet. And then there's a refrain that goes, extra sugar, extra salt, extra oil and MSG. Extra sugar, extra salt, extra oil and MSG. And then back to shut up and eat. It's so sick.
This cake does not sound that tasty, I have to say. It's both moldy, full of salt, and MSG. Things I don't really love in my cakes, you know?
I just feel like you haven't, until you taste it, you can't weigh in.
That's true. I'm putting too much trust in the 30-year-old son. Also, you just reminded me of one of my favorite song lyrics. We're building a playlist for Sal. Pretty much every morning I'm like, let's try Beyonce today. And then we take her favorite song and put it on the playlist in hopes that one day we'll be in the car and she'll be like, can you play these songs that both Avanti and I like to listen to instead of the alternative? We'll see. I think it's every parent's intention, and maybe no success is found. Regardless, we realized we had not put Shakira on the playlist today, and it brought back to me my favorite lyric. Lucky that my breasts are small and humble, so you don't confuse them with mountains.
A common mistake.
I mean, the amount of times that people have thought my breasts were mountains. You know what I mean?
She's trying to get ahead of something that has plagued her whole life.
If you've ever shopped online, and let's face it, who hasn't? Chances are you've bought something from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? The one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes things easier, and not just for shoppers. They make it easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. It gives you a leg up from day dot, with hundreds of beautiful ready-to-go templates to express your brand style so you can get up and running fast. You can tackle your important tasks, from inventory to payments to analytics and more, all in one place. You can also spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools built for you to find and keep new customers. And remember that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already know and love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
Okay. Jenny, I'm going to
This is a
tell
Buffy
you
podcast, right?
Yeah, this is exactly. I have two. I know that I'm going to read two emails at least after we do What Was Dawn Doing, and I'm going to tease them right now. One is about one is about the size of the master's bones, and the other one is about LaToya's PWG entrance music. Pro wrestling group. What does PWG stand for?
Pro wrestling group seems good.
But it's basically all about LaToya's wrestling names in the 80s, 90s, and current.
Oh, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, eh?
Oh.
An American professional wrestling promotion based in Los Angeles, California.
Great. I also love, Patricia, I am going to read your actual email on the other side of what Dawn was doing. But what I just realized is that Patricia has taken the format of so many radio stations of the 80s, 90s, and today, which is always funny to me because
the 80s, 90s, not the 2000s, not the 2010s, but today.
But today. Okay. First up, what the fuck was Dawn doing?
Was she at the mall? Was she at ballet? Was she drawn on a trapper keeper all day? Was she nursing a crush on a boy from PE? Was she writing it all down in her diary? What was Dawn doing? What was Dawn doing? What was Dawn doing? What was Dawn doing?
Okay, are you ready for Kristin with an Eyes installment? There was some discourse because I jokingly said, it's not me to LaToya. And LaToya said, yeah, right. It really genuinely isn't me, y'all. I can't take credit for Kristin with an Eye. It's beautiful prose about what Dawn was doing. Here's what we've got for when she was bad.
I'm ready.
The Summers girls are tense on the ride home from Los Angeles. All summer, Buffy's been distant and mean, refusing to answer Dawn's questions about being a Slayer. Because if you don't remember, the last What Was Dawn Doing ended with Dawn on the bed with Buffy's diary, and she had found out. So Dawn, in this telling, Dawn now knows her sister is a Slayer, okay? The only thing Buffy's told her is that she's the Slayer, she fights monsters, and Dawn can't tell anyone. Dawn was excited to learn Buffy's identity. Her sister was a superhero, but since confronting her, Buffy's been more closed off than ever. Buffy's managed to convince Dawn not to tell Joyce, for now, in exchange for Dawn's use of her hair and makeup supplies and permission to try on her clothes, hence why she had to do so much shopping. School brings a welcome reprieve from the summer-long tension. When Joyce drops Dawn off on their second day, her brand new limited edition Backstreet Boys, a new band taking the world by storm, lunchbox breaks open and spills on Buffy's pink camisole. They quickly drive home, which is what they're doing in their car scene, so Buffy can change into the white shirt she wears in the next scene. As a peace offering, Dawn washes out the stain so Buffy can wear it the next day of school, which she does. So this is a tongue-in-cheek. For those of you who don't know, there's a continuity error in When She Was Bad where Buffy's shirt changes like twice inside of the day. And of course, genius that you are, Kristin with an I, wrote it into the lore.
Amazing.
When Buffy's home, Dawn can hear her talking to Angel in her room. She momentarily worries that her sister might be in danger because he's a vampire. But she reminds herself that Buffy is a superhero, and superheroes always save the day. The next morning, Dawn tries to reach out to Buffy again, but Buffy snaps at her, telling Dawn to stay out of it. All she can do is get in the way. That night, Buffy knocks on Dawn's door before coming inside and sitting on Dawn's bed. Dawn can immediately tell something is different. Buffy thanks her for washing her camisole. She tries to explain she's just trying to keep Dawn safe, and the less she knows, the better. Dawn pretends to be asleep, angry at Buffy for not talking to her about her secret, and unable to understand how she could be endangered by having a superhero as a sister. The end.
I love these. I love these.
They're pretty great. Okay, do you want to hear about wrestling or do you want to hear about bones?
Oh my God, this is a real Sophie's choice for me.
You get to
personally.
hear both. You get to hear both.
Okay. I just had a thought. Option C.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I just had a thought. So the theme music for Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the logo have a rudimentary appearance relative to what it will be changed to. Like there's a more refined recording.
Yep.
And a more refined logo that are deployed starting with the season 3 credits. So initially I had thought maybe for season 2, I would make a more robust, properly recorded What Was Dawn Doing jingle. Mm-hmm. But what if it's the first 2 seasons are kind of the work tape?
Yep.
And then for season 3, we hit the studio.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, I could see a case being made for the jingle staying the same till season 3 for what you said, but I could also see a case for it staying the same until season 5, and then every episode it gets a new twist. But, you know, pick what you will.
These are all great high concept guiding lights for the possible future and or futures of this jingle.
Yes, I agree. Okay, Jenny, bones first or wrestling first?
Wrestling, please.
Okay. Patricia writes in, oh my God, something I am uniquely qualified for. As a wrestling fan and a certified Latoya mark. What does that mean? Mark? Latoya mark?
Hang on. Mark is a slang term that describes a fan who believes that the characters and events of some or all of professional wrestling are real.
Okay. Wow. I'm glad I asked.
The term can also be applied to a fan who idolizes a particular wrestler, promotion, or style of wrestling. So this person loves Latoya.
Okay.
Who among us?
Whomst among us, truly. Patricia continues, I was so excited to hear you ask for her wrestling moniker. If we are talking about the 1980s, her name would obviously be Luscious Latoya. Her ring gear would be lots of gold lame, and she would have originated the split-legged moonsault.
None of my business.
In the 90s, Patricia says, I feel like she would have been a contemporary of IRS and would have gone by the CFO. Cue Jerry Lawler making a crude joke about her being the chief friction officer. Puke emoji, puke emoji.
Wow.
Obviously, the gear would be a tearaway suit, and she would use her calculator as a weapon whenever possible.
Fuck yeah. And could I just add possibly, maybe, either as a prop, as a physical one as a prop, or maybe there's something that could be done as like a signature move called the abacus.
Perfect.
Or maybe I, little Jenny, could be her sidekick, the abacus.
Oh my God. But the abacus could be a wrestling move if she's facing many opponents at once, where she throws each one to the side of the ring.
Or,
Along
engineers the
ropes.
situation in such a way that, like, they're all sort of, like, in a line, and she kind of, like, broops them.
Yeah. Especially if she pushes them over the rope and then pushes them to the side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is good stuff.
That's great stuff. We should be in charge of wrestling.
Are we hired?
Okay. Current day, she would just be billed as LaToya Ferguson, the Authority.
Yes!
Her gimmick is just, she explains how everyone is bad at their job and how she's going to dominate them in the wrestling ring. She would have an amazing Tanahashi jacket and would, in fact, dominate. So,
amen.
Yeah, I thought that was delightful. Thank you so much, Patricia. We will make sure LaToya gets the memo. LaToya, wow, you have so many. It's like the, oh, yes, Jenny.
Is my finishing move the green ribbon? Which involves like it's some kind of like thighs around the throat sort of kind of move.
Yeah. But do you somehow get a green ribbon on your opponent halfway through and then get the green ribbon off as you undo them? Or is it just...
you're thinking about it too.
It's just a metaphorical green ribbon.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't need to get super hyper literal.
All right. I'm gonna take us out of this Watcher's Diary with Bones, not to be confused with the television show in which the girl is Bones, okay? It's the girl. Why the master shouldn't have had bones. Imogen says, listening to your most recent episode, and while I don't have an answer as to what vampire scout badges you need to earn in order not to turn to dust when you die, your question did remind me of something I've always wondered about the show. Why do vampires turn to dust when they're killed? At this point, it seems like a pretty established part of the lore, and from a TV-making perspective, the obvious answer is that it's a convenient special effect and means our heroine doesn't spend half her time burying bodies all over Sunnydale. But if most of the vamps are quite young, I think they should still have at least some bones. And the older they are, the more dusty they should be. Here's why. In Dracula, Drac does turn to dust when he dies. But when Lucy, a newly turned vampire, gets staked, she looks like Lucy as we had seen her in life, with her face of unequaled sweetness and purity. We see the same thing in movie adaptations, which I guess is where Buffy got their inspiration. But I feel like it makes sense that when vampires are killed, their bodies revert to how they'd be as dead bodies, because the demon has been removed. So your freshly turned vamp would be a proper corpse. A vamp that's been around the block might become a skeleton, and the older they are, the more dusty they'd be. By this logic, surely the Masters should have been even more disintegrated than regular vampires. He'd be complete worm food, right?
This makes a lot of practical sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do recall, I think somewhere in the crew commentary, I can't remember who said it, but somewhere in the crew commentary on the special features of the DVD box set, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I do recall someone specifically saying, we had the vampires turn to dust because we didn't want Buffy having to deal with a bunch of dead bodies after the fact.
Yeah, totally. And I'm like, but I like this. The math makes sense. The math checks
Absolutely.
out. Right?
Absolutely.
We did get one other email about bones from Hannah, who is a doctor. And Hannah says, well, I'm actually a lung doctor, not a bone doctor. I unfortunately had to learn about bones in medical school. Hannah wants us to know that bones are actually small because I made fun of the master skeleton and his tiny bones. Hannah says that they'll defer to an actual orthopedist if there's one in the listenership that disagrees.
Certainly there's more than one orthopedist in the listenership, right?
But basically, as bones dry, they shrink because bones are full of water and fat and all these other things. So bones actually, when they are dried out, they're small. So this skeleton of the master might be to actual size.
This is shocking stuff. Except his skull, I feel like, is like extra large.
Jenny, that's all I've got for today. But I will tell you what, there's plenty more in here for the next Watcher's Diary.
I love, now that I'm no longer in charge of monitoring our inbox because you're back from maternity leave, I'm so thrilled at the robust influx of thoughts and feelings coming our way.
Once Jenny doesn't have to manage the inbox, she's like, email us about anything you want all the time. Here's 57 prompts for you to send to the email inbox.
That's right.
Seriously, though, we love getting your emails. hello@bufferingcast.com. And we will see you next week for some assembly required. Whose face would they choose? Mine or Jenny's? TBD.
Oh, yeah. We got to break it down by body parts and sort of, we have to build the perfect podcast.
Yeah. It's like fantasy football, but you just choose body parts.
That's right.
Okay, well, on that wonderful note, Jenny, it's been lovely to read our diary together here on air.
Kristin, it's always my pleasure. I'm Jenny Owen Youngs.
And I'm Kristin Russo.
And we love you.
Oh, my God. Goodbye.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.